Hey everybody, welcome back to Northernlion Plays the Binding of Isaac Afterbirth, plus many different balls in the air here. First off, oh my god, we're starting with marked. It's like, if you had one shot, one opportunity to start a run with above 10 rate of fire, you know what I mean when I say above, I really mean below. Would you take it, or would you let it slip away? 2Y11YC3J, it's like a Canadian airport code. So marked is, and I will accept no dissent on this because I hate free speech. I think that marked is horrible and I hate it, but I'm probably being a little bit over dramatic. I'll admit that fully. Our damage is decent. Our DPS is great. Because of the fact that marked, plus like a random stat roll, left us in an awesome position, to be quite honest with you. Like, the fact that we have, please. The fact that we have 6 rate of fire means that even though our damage is only about average, our DPS for this stage of the game is like way better than normal for this point. That being said, marked is a debuff. You know, it's like you get a good rate, it's almost like a curse, you know, you get a good rate of fire, but you suffer a little bit. Help me? You suffer a little bit from the fact that it's harder to aim. And it might not even be harder to aim, I'll level with you, it might actually be easier to aim. Oh my god. But it's not what you're used to. And once you got 2,400 hours in this game, you're like, I just want a normal run. Boomerang. If I'm being 100% with you, Boomerang is essentially an item that, in my opinion, exists to grab consumables. I don't think it's worth a whole bunch when it freezes enemies, but it's not necessarily horrendous. That being said, it is an item I'd never pay for. So, I don't know, I got a good feeling for some reason, and I'm not superstitious, but I would say I'm a little stitious. I feel like Unicorn Stump might just be over the horizon here. I guess there is a case in which we'd be happy to have, nah, I mean, okay, fine, I'll take it. But the thing is, like, Crooked Penny, it irritates me now. And it's been showing up a lot lately, and I have a sneaking suspicion that I'm misusing it. Which means that I've probably been yelled at in the comments for like 3 or 4 days here. Which is fair, you know, I should remember how to use this item as appropriately as possible, despite the nerf to it. And I'm just remembering, first off, I love it. I'm remembering right off the bat. That's how you use Crooked Penny, is every second shop should be free. On top of that, we just picked up 2 extra damage thanks to Curved Horn, so we really have, like, literally nothing to complain about. I'm not going to go into our curse room, because I've already been. I know there's a golden chest, and the golden chest could be great, but unfortunately, we would lose our spirit heart by going there. So you know, Isaac, for me, it's somewhere between a meritocracy and a Zanatocracy. Because we haven't had, we almost never take the Headless Horseman, even though I think it's pretty decent. I'm kind of like, sure, maybe we should take the pony item here. Because we have Omega Penny all the time. But I've just now remembered how to use Omega Penny to occasionally give you free shop items. So as a result, I'm going to stick with this. Plus, the pony is boring. You know, I don't choose my Isaac items just based on, like, you know, what item hasn't been seen most recently. I know it might seem that way, but it's more like, what viable item hasn't been seen most recently? It's also why we got rid of the Boomerang, because it's trash. So, this was stupid. I don't know, Epiphora might actually synergize amazingly with Marked, or it might not synergize at all. But I really thought, you know what's cooler than Epiphora? 2 Epiphoras, and you know, time may tell that that was a horrendous mistake, but life goes on. Sure. Why not? You know, I don't think there's a reason not to fight the boss. We won't have Headless Horseman. We won't have Crooked Penny under control. That being said, we have enough HP to take whatever we want from a deal with the devil, and, you know, if we don't want it, we probably don't necessarily care if we get it even for free. That tends to not be the way that works, so You know, so I've been very, and I don't want to act like we've had like the world's most challenging runs. We've had a lot of runs recently that have been like below average, but we've had a lot of runs recently as well where I've gone to our first deal with the devil and been like, that's garbage. Black powder is not great at 0.95 speed. In fact, you could take it a step further. It's bad at 0.1 or 0.95 speed. So it's not like this is an amazing pickup by itself. However, we have so much HP, it feels like you're throwing the baby out with the bathwater. I mean, we don't need 6 broken modems. What is this? Ace of Hearts. Just horrendous. And relax. So there's really no point in... I don't even think there's a point in taking a broken modem. I think this item is relatively not good. So, there you go. I was thinking if it doubled it, I'd get enough money out of the situation to be happy. I recognize that as a result of using Crooked Penny so far, like if you looked at our run in real terms, what have we gotten? Well, nothing. We've gotten a few extra pennies, and we've thrown away an extra nickel. So, it's definitely been a net negative thus far. But all it takes is 700 or 800 good uses of it, and then we'll be in the clear. Now, I think we've had the slightly short end of the stick from a variance standpoint. It's alright. We got plenty of time here. I mean, we're doing fine. Basically, crooked horn means that, or curved horn, I should say. Yeah, let's put a bomb here. Means that we can afford to make a lot of mistakes before it really comes back to bite us. Hey, look at that. Saved us a little walking. I'm trying to be more aggressive because sometimes like I take this item and I just never use it. So I'm liking the Killmonger hair. Gotta be honest. Didn't know if the look would work for you, Eden, but you're pulling it off. He's just like... Magical toaster, help, is no good. Not in our current situation, anyway. I mean, it scales with your damage, and actually, in some situations, it could be amazing as a result, but not really that useful for us right now. I'll just be straight up with you. If we accidentally walk into the tick, cancel Christmas. This run's got some issues there, but if we don't, plan for a nice Christmas dinner. What do you eat on Christmas, or, you know, the holiday of your choice that you choose to celebrate in the Decembral or Wintoral region, and not of the Anna variety? That was a reference to Vogue editor Anna Wintour. I've never seen The Devil Wears Prada, but I hear it's really good. You know, I like Stanley Tucci. Anyway, I ask because the regional differences are interesting. My whole life, I've eaten turkey on Christmas and turkey on Easter. But I hear that that's a little bit aberrant. A lot of people are ham on Christmas, turkey on Thanksgiving. The thing is, like, I understand if you're from the US and you don't want turkey on Thanksgiving and turkey on Christmas, because it, you know, it does make sense. Those two are very close together. I don't know, dude. Can we get super bummed just by getting lucky here? This is a little ridiculous. Never let anybody tell you Crooked Penny doesn't bring the heat. Look at that. 4 key beggars right off the bat. Nothing can stop us. You know, Canadian Thanksgiving is in October. So we eat some turkey. And we're like, wow, this is the best turkey I've had since April. Or March, depending on when Easter is. And then you know, wait a couple months and you go, sick, it's Christmas. And no, that key belongs to me. You go, sick, it's Christmas, I haven't had turkey in 2 months. You know, you get some turkey. But Thanksgiving, you're like, turkey again? Or, sorry, if you live in the US, you're like, Thanksgiving, sweet turkey. Christmas, no, turkey again? No thank you, ma. Really? It's kind of... you know, this is okay. We still want to go to our shop here. Dude, I don't think I should have taken these key baggers. I'm getting a little bit of, you know, doubler's remorse. I think turkey gets a bad rap. I think ham gets a bad rap, too. Do you know, like, okay, so I've been buying my own groceries. I'm like, So I'm 29. I've been buying my own groceries for 12 years. Except for, like, one summer. I've been buying my groceries for 10 years. There's things in the grocery store I had never bought until recently. And I think that's just the case in general. Like, you know, there's like whole aisles at the grocery store I don't walk down. I try not to walk down potato chip aisle too often because it's just going to give me ideas. And then, like, beyond that, you know, there's a weird... Screw it, dude. Let's go for it. There's like a British food aisle at our grocery store. And I'm not trying to insult anybody that comes from the United Kingdom. The stereotype of the United Kingdom is that they're bad with food. Which is, you know, perhaps, I guess... I've only been to London, right? And I can't speak to whether or not that's true. Because in London, it's like a world-class food city. You can get whatever you want, you know, if you got the Great British pounds for it. You know, fish and chips might cost you the equivalent of like 26 American dollars, but at the same time, you know, you can get yourself hooked up. It's not a real fish and chips unless it comes from a dude in a truck down at the Cliffs of Dover. All right, and now that you got that out of your system, we can move along. But, you know, the time that we were in the UK, I was like, this is delicious. So I'm not going to say you got bad foods, but I will say the names of them. Oh, let's do it. Don't even think about it. The names weird me out. Jellied eels, fruity brown sauce. Like, what are you doing? It's weird because, like, HP sauce sounds delicious to me. Fruity brown sauce sounds weird, but in reality, fruity brown sauce is a great name. It describes for you both the color and the taste of the sauce that you're about to experience. But one thing I never realized, because until maybe like 2 months ago, I had never purchased ham at the grocery store. Ham was a meat for one generation above mine. I'm not talking about lunch meat like deli sliced ham, by the way. Of course, that's a sandwich staple. And I'll get some deli sliced ham from time to time. I'm talking about like a brick of ham that you would reheat in the oven and then serve to your family with like some mustard or, I don't know, some HP sauce even. Ham is so cheap. Who's working at like the ham lobbying board? Because you gotta hire some better lobbyists. There's no reason that much meat should be that cheap. And believe you me, I'm not trying to like blow up a good thing for everybody else. I think it might be at the nexus of like best tasting meat per penny. And admittedly, I haven't eaten a lot of the detritus. Like sometimes we go to there's a chain in Vancouver and probably, I'm assuming, like across North America called TNT Supermarkets. It's like an Asian grocery store. And sometimes I go there and I again, I lived in Asia, in case you haven't heard me talk ever. And I see things at TNT that I ain't ever seen before in my life. I'm like, oh, chicken throats. And then you look at the chicken, I'm like, never gonna buy them. Just a big old bag full of gizzards or something like that. And then you go, I wonder, these could be like 10 cents per pound? What do you mean $8 per pound? Like, I understand there's some craftsmanship in pulling the chicken gizzards out, but are you out of your mind? Who on earth is paying you thigh prices for gizzard meat? You're pricing yourselves out of the market. Then again, they're like rapidly expanding. So clearly, my joke is not based in reality. Nonetheless, let's get out of here. Ham is it's weird, because like, pea-meal bacon, very similar to ham. It's a Canadian food. It's back bacon wrapped in ground up, usually corn, but it's still called pea-meal bacon. So it's like back bacon with cornmeal around the edges. Expensive, real expensive. Ham, very similar, just minus the cornmeal, extremely cheap. If you're one of those people who's like, you're breaking the grocery budget buying pea-meal bacon, I feel you. This could be big. Yeah, sure, that was actually pretty okay. But dude, consider making a sidelong lateral move to the ham department. They could use you. Ham's always in that weird part of the grocery store too, at least for us, where they have like one section where the meat is, and you're like, where's the ham? And then, 4 aisles down, there's a little freezer, and there's like a ham and pepperoni in it, and you're like, okay, I guess this is the meats that time forgot. bologna, macaroni loaf, mock chicken, and a big old log of ham. Anyway. Those are my thoughts on ham. I'm relatively pro ham. I don't think I'd ever order it in a restaurant. There's never been a situation where I'm like, ham dinner. I would love to pay, you know, $12.50 for that. That being said. Ooh, dude, absolutely. No, we could double it for a extra tiers upgrade, but I'm glad we didn't, because in okay, hello. In reality, we didn't get any tiers upgrade out of it to begin with, so we made the right decision. The ham it's an under-respected meat, in my opinion. I ate it like once a week when I was growing up, so maybe that's why I've got a little ham nostalgia. I really feel like your taste buds are set for you, like, within the first 15 years of your life. Don't get me wrong, I was a picky eater until I was, like, probably 18. And now I'll eat anything. I've eaten stuff that's horrendous. I've eaten stuff that's amazing that I never would have experienced. Kate and I went to, and this is like almost a year ago, we went to a pretty fancy place for our anniversary. And, you know, we got one of those very scary menus where it's like, let the chef/business owner choose the meal for you. And I was like, I don't know. It seems like a conflict of interest. Like, how do I know he's not just picking up the scraps from another plate, tossing it down and being, it's garbage a la carte. $40 a plate. But, they brought out a salad with some kind of weird meat on it I've never seen before. And they said something in Italian, and I said, hey buddy, what's this? And he said, it's pig's head. And I was like, weird. And then I ate it, and I was like, that's sick. And I mean sick in like the great way. That was delicious. Okay, check this out. I'm gonna be a very smart boy here. And I'm gonna shoot the moon. Like a preemie out the womb. My partner yelling, too soon, don't do it! Reconsider. Let's go! Didn't get the second tiers upgrade, which I was hoping for. Did get the second shot speed downgrade, which is a little dicey maybe, but... And we're still behind schedule for boss rush. What up with that? Really had a hard time making boss rush work for us lately. That's why, like, I don't know, probably like every parent says this. Or every person, like, eventually planning on becoming a parent says this, but I feel like when I have a kid, they should just eat, like, only spinach and grass-fed beef until they're, like, 16. On their 16th birthday, I'll take them to McDonald's and be like, hey, we've been performing a psychological experiment on you since birth. Sorry, by the way. But, I mean, it's not like you could have said yes or no. You were a baby. So, here's, like, a Big Mac and 6 Chicken McNuggets. Tell me what you think about it. And in my head, I'm like, they're probably going to be like, ooh, this is gross. Where's the omega-3 fatty acids? And they're going to live their lives with a healthy, balanced diet. But I don't know, because I met a lot of people in college who were like, my parents didn't let me stay up past 10 p.m. And then their first year in college, they just went out of their minds, you know? Because they had so many limits when they were growing up that they had to, you know, test the boundaries of those limits when they reached an age in which they had some more autonomy. So I don't know, maybe you'd end up, you know, your kid would be like that young Hercules kid. You ever watch that TLC show with the 7-year-old who can bench press like 200 pounds? By the way, if you're going, no big deal, I could bench press 200 pounds. The kid is 7. Well, this is back in like 2004. He hadn't even gone through puberty yet, and he's bench pressing. He has no testosterone in his body. And he's lifting more than like the average adult male or something like that. It was crazy. Anyway, I'm not saying I want my kid to be young Hercules. I'm just saying, probably start out as young Hercules, and then he'd eat his first Big Mac, and it would be like the scene in every movie that takes place in the 1960s where they're like, you gotta try this, dude. And he drops a tab of LSD and like, it's the time of the season for, and you know, you've seen the montages I'm talking about. Anyway, let's continue moving on here. We're on Necropolis 1. aka the planet where Infinity War takes place. All I'm trying to say, this whole anecdote was just about ham. Though you don't feel like, you know, what you ate as a child sets you up for, like, what you like as an adult? Because I don't know, it's very, like, we talk about fast food on the show more than we should. I genuinely don't eat fast food that often. But I've eaten it a lot in my life. And, you know, we'll talk about McDonald's, and people in chat will be like, McDonald's is trash. And I'm like, yeah, I know, but, like, in my gut, I don't feel that. Like, when I eat, like, a chicken McNugget, I'm like, this is the platonic ideal of what food should taste like. I don't know what it is. It's like, you know, as a kid, you know, food was used as, like, a celebration and a reward and stuff like that, so I don't know if it's just that it's actually biologically engineered to be the best tasting food for, like, you know, it's got a incredible amount of, like, warm fat and protein in it or something like that. Or if it's that it was used as a reward, like Dan and I were talking about it. Everybody, like, hates Pizza Hut, apparently, but they're still in business, riddle me this. Except Dan and I, and I'm assuming other people, like, by the way, I recognize I'm bad for not being able to get through this room, but people in our age group, and we're like, why is it? Well, you know, they used to use Pizza Hut, like, put its tendrils into every school. In my age group, at least, it was like every Wednesday was personal pan pizza day. Someone from Pizza Hut comes, and if you paid your $2.50, you got a personal pan pizza for lunch. So, you know, the teacher would be like, it's pizza day tomorrow. You got really excited about it. You eat the pizza. You're like, this tastes delicious. All of a sudden, you're 30 years old, and everybody's like, where's your favorite pizza place? I like Bravano's down on 8th Street. And you're like, don't say Pizza Hut. Don't say Pizza Hut. Pizza Hut? Ah! I don't know, dude. Like, why not keep trying here? I feel the same thing about McDonald's. It's got mental associations, you know? By the way, you can fix it. I firmly believe you're gonna think that this is, and this is the typical NL bit where I take it a little bit too far. I really don't believe that outside of, like, you know, 0.1%. Look, okay, I'm not an epidemiologist or, like, a demographic studier. You know, the thing is, like, I know that's not a real job, probably, or at least it's not called that. But I generally believe that there are very few biologically picky eaters. And I say that without having any expertise, but at least having some experience, because I used to be a picky eater. And then you'd be like, people would be like, hey, you want to try a little piece of celery? And you'd be like, sorry, I'm a picky eater. Like, you were born that way. Nah, I think it's like, you know, it's up to your parents, like, at the beginning, to force you to eat stuff that you don't want to eat, even when you say you don't like it, and then build up a tolerance to it. I'm not saying you should, like, torture a child. That was stupid. I should have just picked up Incubus, but I was like, I could get 2 Incubus, and if I pick it up, I can't get 2 Incubus, so... Incubuddies, that's right. Let me coffee up here for a sec, because this is a rant. Like, again, if, you know, your child is 8 months old, and you're feeding them, like, you know, durian, and they're like, it smells bad, and you're like, eat the durian. You can't have your pureed sludge until you eat the durian. Yo, stop shooting, please. There we go. That's probably bad parenting. But I feel like, you know, I don't know if my parents were like this because I was a baby, but I was a picky eater growing up, and I have a sneaking suspicion that what might have happened is, you know, I refused to eat some vegetables, and my parents were like, fine, he's got to eat, just give him what he wants, you know? Give him like a can of Chef Boyardee or something like that. And then when I grew up, I was like, I only want Chef Boyardee and, like, white bread sandwiches with the crust cut off. So if you're, like, 14 and older, now's the time, dude. Because I'm being real with you. And I don't care if you're 30. You're going to take, like, offense to this. I don't care if you're 50. You're going to take offense to this. There's no offense meant. I'm trying to help you out. Not that I know better than you, just that in this one area I've got some experience, okay? So don't immediately tune out and say this youngster can't teach me anything or this grandpa can't teach me anything, depending on how old you are. Just start eating weird stuff. Start eating stuff that you think is weird. And you, over time, you will very quickly, probably, be able to eat a wide variety of foods. Because I really, like, when someone says, I'm allergic to a food, I'm like, gotcha, 100%, no excuse. I'm not gonna eat the peanut, you know? It'll be funny. Or you prove to me that you're allergic. I'm not gonna do that. But when, you know, I meet, like, an adult, and then they're like, can I get fries instead of the salad? I don't really like lettuce. I'm like, you, by the way, I want to point out, you're welcome to have whatever food preferences you like. It's your life. Live it the way that you want to live it. But I feel like you're missing out, and I feel like it's an invalid reason. I'm just being straight up. I'm just being honest. I'm not saying you have to like lettuce in particular, but if, you know, I'm talking to you, Sinvicta. When you say I don't like any vegetables, I'm like, that seems ridiculous to me. It seems, wait, don't give me the argument you got the enzyme that makes vegetables inedible, because I don't buy it fully. At least not without you being tested from the doctor or something like that. Like, I was reading, there was like a Reddit best of post, and it was an American person living in France that was like, hey, people in France, I like the way you raise your kids. Can you give me some insight in how you raise them? And I'm not saying French kids are better than American kids at all, because I have never met a French child. Or maybe an American, well, that's not true, because, like, I have, two nieces, and they're technically American, but, like, I don't know, really. See, you wouldn't judge the whole population just based off 2 4-year-olds. It's not really fair. Anyway, the point is, there was a really great post, or a post that I resonated with, at least, that was like, when I feed my kids, like, they're 1 or something like that, they get the same thing we eat, except probably, if you're having, like, a cigarette after dinner, I wouldn't recommend it. What are you, the government? And, they just get smaller portions of it, and if they don't want to eat it, that's fine, but if they don't want to eat it and they go, I want to eat, like, McDonald's instead, or I want to eat, like, exclusively dinosaur-shaped chicken nuggets, we don't feed it to them, because, like, it's just gonna spoil their taste buds. I'm like, yeah, that makes perfect sense to me. No 1-year-old child on Earth, again, I'm not a doctor, so this is dangerous discourse. I don't believe there's ever been a recorded case of a 1-year-old child on Earth ever starving themselves deliberately. And they're like, well, why did the kid die? And the parents are like, he could only stomach dinosaur chicken nuggets. Like, you have a responsibility, I think, to try to broaden your kids' horizons. I understand it's easy for me to say. It's hard to make, you can lead a horse to water, but the horse, I speak English, I promise. You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink, but, I think that's why I was a picky eater for so long. It's because I was enabled to be a picky eater. I was an only child. I think my parents were like, I'm not going to say they didn't know what they're doing, because I think I turned out relatively well, considering the circumstances. I've made it to 30, totally normal job, and extremely rational opinions about just about everything. But, I digress. No, but I've like, I got it relatively together. I'm on the level with people in my age group. My life is in order for the most part. So I think they did a great job, but when it comes to food, I'm pretty sure there were times when they were like, well, he doesn't really want to eat any vegetables but potatoes and carrots, so make sure he has potatoes and carrots. He's a growing boy. We don't want to spoil his growth by giving him stuff he doesn't like. But the thing is, like, kids, I don't know if they, like, are deliberately lying, but a lot of the foods I said I didn't like as a kid, I'm not sure if it's hard to go back in time, but I'm not sure if I really didn't like them, or if I just didn't like them as much as I liked, like, French fries. And chicken fingers. So you eat like a Caesar salad. Not that it's necessarily good for you, but you'd eat a Caesar salad and be like, this doesn't taste as good as French fries. I don't like it. Your parents just go, I can't tap into their brain. I guess they don't like it. All I'm trying to do, anyway, if you're a picky eater, you can fix it. And I know you're saying, why would I want to fix it by being, deliberately adding unpleasantness to my life? Because it'll pay off in the long run. You'll open yourself up to such a wide variety of food. And I hate to say it, because it's very judgmental of me. it might lead to a greater degree of respect in adult interactions. It's not like if I met, you know, Bill Gates and he's like, I only eat pizza. I'd be like, I still respect you as a person, but I would go home when Kate and I are driving. I'd be like, it's a little weird. He's like a 50-year-old dude that only eats pizza, right? That's like a TLC show waiting to happen there. I wouldn't be like, we gotta compromise him to a permanent end. But I'd be like, my dude really only eats pizza? You're missing out, you know. You only get one life. You should eat what you want, but you should also experience more of what the world has to offer. Like, I don't really, if you, once every couple of years you try a food and you go, like, I have foods I genuinely do not like, even though I eat them all the time. I probably eat mushrooms once every 2 weeks. Don't like them. They come with whatever, like, our meal prep services, and I go, maybe I'll like mushrooms this time. I eat one or two, and not really for me. You know, I never deliberately order mushrooms, but the thing is, like, in the end, like, an unpleasant taste is not something to necessarily be afraid of. Maybe one day I'll like mushrooms. But I don't even think, you know, once every 2 weeks is ridiculous. You know, if you try something once every couple of years, just don't, I guess I'm like, just don't deliberately wall yourself off, you know? Because I think what happened to me, I think I've been on this tangent for like half an hour now. Please, just talk about Isaac. Stop making fun of my meal choices. Nah, like, becoming a picky eater becomes like part of your identity, or at least it can. So people are like, hey, do you want to try this thing you've never tried? And you're like, I'm not gonna like it because I'm a picky eater. No, I mean, you should try it. Maybe you'll like it. Just be open-minded, you know? Don't wall yourself off to it before it even happens. Yo. Dude, we could still die here. I'm actually, so the stats on this run are great, but I want to point out, marked still sucks and is tedious to deal with. Kind of fun, though. It's like my brain is now relatively adjusted to it, but, yeah, like, the fact that we keep losing HP, not all of it has been productive, but all of it is understandable, I think, when you consider that marked is still relatively horrible. Hey, I don't want to be in this room, but I also cannot place a bomb to escape. Oh my god! Did you see? They, like, trapped me in a ghost prison. Like Juliana Margulies on a ghost ship. Dude, what? Did they change the telefrag code? This is like... By the way, there is no escape. If we don't fight to the death, they will kill us both. Okay, this is important. I cannot place bombs. No matter which direction I aim in, they get hit by the size of our tier. Thank God for all the money we got there. Kinda looking for spirit hearts. Oh, no reason. And by the way, despite the fact, you know, I eat a lot of... Yeah, let's use it immediately. Despite the fact that I eat a lot of stuff, or at least don't shy away from stuff that could be described as, like, you know, sort of unusual foods. This is why I feel like you're, to some extent, always beholden to the foods you ate the most as a kid, or liked the most as a kid. Like, if Kate's ever away for longer than, like, a couple of days, I'm like, I gotta go to the grocery store and get some curly fries and some chicken strips, because, like, that's my ideal dinner. Throw that in the oven. So, like, a couple times a year, maybe, I get to satiate that desire, and that's enough, I think. And I go, this is good, but this, you know, chicken fingers are sometimes food. Okay, hang out here. This is important. Like, this... Oh, that was like about half a second away from oblivion. Now we come down to the next floor, we get some form of HP, and we pull out the W here to keep our pseudo streak alive. Okay, so, you know what? I'm not mad, because you live by the sword, you freaking die by the sword, dude. I don't want to be the kind of guy that goes down to the chest with Omega Penny and chooses not to use it, you know? Just make sure you make every effort to kill Gluttony last. And you got a shot. You got a lottery ticket. Okay, we do not have a lottery ticket. I should have let you take that. And I'm going to be focusing on the game momentarily. I'm sorry. Saying Ryan can't come to the phone right now. Why? Oh, because he's dead. Old memes. Please, I'm begging you. I guess we don't have a crazy luck stat. Little bit more of an annoying fight here. Again, you probably want to get that Gluttony killed last. Thank God for 2 speed, by the way. Otherwise, we probably would have been hit already. I hate you. I hate you. That's just what it comes down to. This normally would not be that scary, but homing shots, they have a particular habit of being a little spooky. But they'll accelerate and decelerate as you do sometimes, so I'm pretty pleased with the fact that we managed to get out of this relatively safely. You know, you gotta look for your secret rooms here. Even though your bombs could be precious. There we go. No greed, please. Well, certainly, I'm a little frightened. Are there 3 of you? We gotta keep moving. That's just like... Yo, though. No! In my head, for a moment there, I became at peace with the idea of a loss. No! Well, I mean, the thing is, we probably could have saved our run by opening those chests, but at what great cost? That's what I get for railing against picky eaters. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the episode. If you did, click the like button. Helps out a great deal. Of course, subscribe if you want to see more in the future. We'll see you next time. Bomber, dude.